LaShawn McCoy said something that got some Eagles fans rattled, but in my opinion, I had no problem with it. Now, he basically said that AJ Brown told him that this offense is the Jalen Hurts offense. Essentially, that Jalen Hurts is the system. This ain't news to me. When we talk about system quarterbacks, if you want to say Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback, you're right. He is the system. He is the system. Remember when James Harden with the Clippers, he said, I am the system? Yes, Jalen Hurts is the system because whether it's with Shane Steichen, whether it is with Brian Johnson, whether it is with Kellen Moore, the Eagles have always won double-digit games. Yes. Yes. So I don't look at what Shady said the other day about, oh, he's telling stuff in the house or AJ running his mouth. I don't see it like that. I see it as a positive because it just reaffirms to me, what I already knew with that the common denominator, that constant factor is Jalen Alexander Hurts. And that's amazing to see. And so Kevin Patullo, I ain't going to say his job is easy, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, at worst, is a top 3 duo in the NFL. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL. Jeff Stoutland is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, these guys are the truth. And Jalen Hurts is a superstar coming off a Super Bowl MVP. So I'm looking at the offense to take a step up from what they were last season. And I'm looking at this too. I need Saquon Barkley to tone his reps down and for there to be more passing. Yes. Now, it's crazy that I'm saying this because I was one of the biggest people last season saying run the damn ball. But hear me out, bro. I expect Jalen Hurts to have more of a breakout year than for Saquon Barkley to replicate his success last season. Because I've said it before and I will say it again, 330 plus carries consistently year by year is not a winning formula. I don't think you can subject Saquon Barkley to those carries. If he does it, that's my bad. But I think that you should save some of that towards the end of the season. Now, Saquon, he didn't get injured this season, but you don't want to overload him with all these carries when you have all these guys, all these playmakers, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, maybe Jahan Dotson coming off that playoff run where he played amazing. He'll take a step up. But I think that this is the season that Jalen Hurts is putting up those gaudy numbers. He's putting up those gaudy numbers. And I think that's the recipe for success for the Eagles so they can preserve Saquon Barkley. Yeah. So it's going to be on Jalen Hurts to improve, to trust his teammates, to trust Jahan Dotson, to look for those checkdowns, to obviously not turn over the ball, which he's done. But you want to find that balance between not turning over the ball and being aggressive. Because there were times last season where Hurts was extremely conservative because he didn't want to make a mistake. I believe that against the Rams, Hurts was extremely conservative in the playoffs. And that conservative nature, now, mind you, A.J. Brown still dropped a pass going into halftime. It was a touchdown. He dropped it. But in that second half, it was more, all right, we got this lead. I'm not about to put the ball in harm's way in the event that we lose this. You don't want to have us lose this lead, right? And I think a great trait of Jaylen Hurts is that he has self-awareness to know, all right, I'm not going to throw a 50-50 ball if the defense is going crazy. Now, if the defense is putting up points, well, they're letting up points, then you could take more chances. So in terms of self-awareness, he has some of the best self-awareness in the NFL. And so we'll look at that moving forward. I expect Hurts to have himself a breakout season. And I don't know the odds for it, but MVP, MVP, MVP. I like it. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Make some extra dough. Messing with real talk. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Show the friend and show the friend. Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff is giving me Ben Simmons vibes. He is. And one thing we despise in Philly is giving up. Now, I don't know if this is a Howie Roseman, Vic Fangio mutual thing where they're like, all right, we're going to trade you, so we don't want you practicing, because the more that you practice, then if you get injured, we're screwed. But the thing is, you still take a cap hit by bringing in Bryce Huff. So again, I've always said since this season ended that it's rock bottom for Bryce Huff. You can't get worse than being inactive in the Super Bowl and you're a healthy scratch. So how about take another season with Vic Fangio and go crazy next season? And you ain't even got to put up 10 sacks like you did in New York. But can we get 7, 8, 6? I'm looking at that. So the fact that Bryce Huff was not at OTAs, and yes, they're voluntary, but sources have said that relationship is done, that they're mutually trying to part ways. But again, my pushback is the cap hit. So if he's coming off the worst season of his career, Bryce Huff, his trade value is going to be the lowest it'll ever be. And teams are not going to want to trade for a guy making $17 million and he's a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. Teams aren't going to trade for that. So I'm not in the business of saying, let's cut him, let's trade him for a bag of chips. And probably the highest thing you could do is maybe like a 7th round pick, 6th round pick at most. I would like to keep him. But if Bryce Huff's mentality is Vic Fangio gave up on me, they don't believe in me, I was injured, new situation, they don't believe in me, and he's salty, I look at that as soft. I look at that like Ben Simmons-esque. I look at that like, get in the freaking room, the freaking weight room. Stop. I was about to cuss. Stop pouting. Stop pouting and get to work. And get to work. The only way I could see a situation where the Eagles cut or trade Bryce Huff is if they're super impressed with either Azeez Ojulari or Joshua Uche. Because in terms of the edge rushers that the Eagles have, they got Nolan Smith, they got Jalix Hunt, Azeez Ojulari, Joshua Uche, another one. Ain't that pretty much it? Antoine Powell-Ryland? What, 6th round pick this year? So maybe the situation. Oh, I'll put this caveat in. I'll also say maybe if Jahai Campbell gets healthy and he moves to the edge a little bit, right? Or he plays some snaps there. But I feel like there's more upside to just rolling out playing the guy if he's already going to give you a dead cap hit. That's what I would do. But we're not in the building, so we got to see how they feeling. I obviously trust Vic and Howie and, their expertise as they're with these guys every day and have extensive experience. Nakobe Dean. I'm so happy that my guy Nakobe Dean is walking well, looking good. Hey, man, I think Nakobe Dean, I ain't trying to knock on wood. I think he's looking healthier than what they expected at this point. He walk around the guys like he healthy for real. Now, obviously, game speed is different. Game speed is different. But for what they told us in terms of patella tendon, he's coming back, midway through the season. I don't know, bro. He's walking out with Jahad Campbell with ease. Hey, bro, best case scenario is a linebacker room of those three: Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, and Jahad Campbell. And I have said it before, and I will say it again. I've been saying this for years. I will always believe in Nakobe Dean. I will always believe in him. He got that dog mentality. He has got that dog mentality. There are some guys in sports that you simply don't bet against. And Nakobe Dean showed in 2024, don't bet against me. And before his injury, I was there in that playoff game against the Packers. He was snapping all season long. And he need that respect. And so I'm looking at a guy in him to really defy expectations and come back a little bit earlier than what folks expected. I also want to talk about the competitions. And this is my last point in this episode, talking about the Eagles. Honestly, bro, one thing I'm looking forward to in OTAs and training camp are the competitions. There's some competitions that the Eagles have slated for these position groups. I'm looking forward to that battle between Sidney Brown and Andrew Nakobe for who's going to be alongside Reed Blankenship. I want to see that. I want to see who wins that battle, because Sidney Brown is a guy that he had a promising rookie year before he tore his ACL. And Andrew Nakobe is just the same type of guy Vic Fangio loves, who's excellent in coverage, can play the slot, can play deep. I mean, he's a guy that if you have him with Cooper DeJean, I mean, that's iron sharpens iron. So that's something, that competition between Sidney Brown and Andrew Nakobe, I think is going to have iron sharpens iron type of thing, where you're going to see whoever starts is gonna be a stud. Going to be a stud. Another one, Adoree Jackson versus Keely Ringo. Now, Adoree Jackson got some first team reps in OTAs. I ain't gonna hold it too much weight, but we're gonna see who's gonna be that outside cornerback to Quinyon Mitchell. We'll see whether if Keely Ringo steps up or if Adoree Jackson, coming from the Giants, that vet, he comes in and becomes that starting cornerback. That's going to be something we got to keep our eyes on, given the fact that this Eagles secondary is coming off being the best passing defense in the league last season. Tyler Steen versus Kenyon Green for that right guard spot to replace Mekhi Becton is also something I'm looking forward to seeing. Yes. Now, I would bet on Tyler Steen, who's already been in this system, who already knows Jeff Stoutland and Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, and all these guys really, really well. And yes, he lost his spot last season to Mekhi Becton. He also got injured. But I'm looking at Tyler Steen to win that battle. But again, I hope that it's competitive. So the one guy that does win it is really, really legit. Two others, bro. Jeremiah Trott Jr. versus Jahad Campbell. Now, Jeremiah Trott Jr. with Jahad Campbell essentially, not being active until he's cleared to play. We're looking at Jeremiah Trott Jr., the son of Jeremiah Charles Sr., Eagles legend, great, great linebacker for us. We're going to see like if he steps up in the absence of Nakobe Dean and or in the absence of Jahad Campbell, both of those guys. And we'll see who ends up lining up next to Zach Bond. Again, maybe Jahad Campbell comes back early before training camp and he wins the spot. But I think if we can take away anything from last season, we can take away that, that whole like linebacker room is so important because we saw the drop off between the linebacker room this year and the linebacker room last year with Shaq Barrett and I don't even Nicholas Morrow. It was bad. It was bad. So we got to get that right. We got to get that right. And then last thing, the running back competition between Will Shipley and AJ Dillon is something I'm looking forward to as well. Folks forget AJ Dillon before his neck injury was one of the best power backs in the league. He was extremely effective with Aaron Jones with that 1-2 punch in Green Bay. All right, he gets that, 1-year injury, is coming back this season, and he's somebody that can definitely take the load off Saquon Barkley, who we all want to get less carries. But Will Shipley, on the other hand, in the playoffs, he stepped up. We saw him against the Commanders when he was up big. He got a touchdown. And if he just had a little bit more wheels on that one run, he could have went ahead and went to the crib and got himself like an 80-some yard touchdown for that jump right there. So we're going to see who becomes that running back too. And it's going to be really, really important because, again, you want to be able to take the load off of Saquon Barkley. So it is a whole lot of moving pieces. We're going to cover this extensively. Like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. What's up with MJ? Y'all know I always keep it real. Let me know what you are looking forward to moving forward for the Birds. See y'all. Love y'all. Peace.